What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. Litecoin, what's the deal here, man? Litecoin just keeps pumping. They say, well, when Bitcoin goes up, Litecoin goes up. But what's really going on here? Because when Bitcoin was surging, Litecoin was going up, but it wasn't following suit. Like, it wasn't standing side by side. You know, they say, well, Bitcoin's gold, Litecoin's silver, so as the price of gold goes up, so does the price of silver. But, that's one way to look at it. But at the end of the day, passing this $10 billion market cap and the market capitalization for the entire cryptocurrency market is actually at $447 billion. So Bitcoin dominance is at 62.4%, which is actually pretty high. We've seen it as low as 54% in the last month. So Bitcoin definitely is capturing some of that. Now, the good news for you guys, if you're holding Litecoin or if you're holding altcoins besides Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, I guess you could call the main core coins the three that are on Coinbase, which, by the way, Coinbase just became the #1 most downloaded app on the Apple Store. So, on that, because of that, Litecoin being the cheaper alternative to Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's easier to scoop up one Litecoin than it is to scoop up one Bitcoin, right? So people are like, I'll just pick up a Litecoin. So Litecoin's getting tons of attention and exposure. And with that being said, let's take a look at what the potential for Litecoin really is in 2018. Now, what we have to go off of is these market caps. All right. So let's just say that Litecoin gets a $100 billion market cap. Okay. Sure, you could say, wow, that's really high. That's not going to happen. But realistically, as the money continues to pour in, we approach $1 trillion market capitalization. It is not that far-fetched to assume and suggest that Litecoin could reach $100 billion market cap. And if that happens, what you would be looking at, so if you take Litecoin, so you got 10 billion here, and you times that by 10, so you take 194 times 10, or you could just round it up to 200, right? You'd be looking at a $2,000 Litecoin. I'm just putting it into perspective what I think is realistically possible for Litecoin. Yes, I am getting more and more bullish with Litecoin, mostly due to the fact that it is on Coinbase. Coinbase is one of the most downloaded apps on the Apple Play Store, if not the most downloaded app on the Apple Play Store right now. And with all that, Litecoin is just going to continue to surge. So I'm now saying that, yes, it's possible to see 10 times gains, and this up to a $2,000, just under a $2,000 cryptocurrency. Obviously, you have to keep in mind Bitcoin Cash is supposed to be the better Bitcoin, right? But just don't call it Bcash. And I say that because Charlie Lee, you'll notice he throws jabs at Roger Ver. Him and Roger Ver are, I say Roger Ver. I have heard it both ways, but I think it's Roger Ver. But him and Roger Ver get into squabbling matches quite often on Twitter. Actually, Charlie talks more smack to Roger, like this right here. I now understand why Roger didn't appreciate Bitcoin being digital gold. He doesn't understand why gold was valuable in the first place. SMH, you know what that means, shake my head. So here's Roger's tweet. I've noticed Roger doesn't really talk smack, but Charlie does. And Charlie's the creator of Litecoin. Roger they call him the Bitcoin Jesus because back in 2011, he was the first investor in Bitcoin, and because of that, he's become very successful. But a lot of people don't like him because they think that he's too cocky or too pompous, so to speak. But at the end of the day, he is the first Bitcoin investor, and he's really a serious guy. He's really a serious guy. Like, he's young, but he's serious. Gold's usefulness as a store of value comes as a secondary effect from its other uses. If it didn't have those secondary uses, it would have never become a medium of exchange or a store of value. Uses of gold. Most useful type of metal, has many different uses in the United States: jewelry, electronics, computers, financial, dentistry, medical, aerospace, and many more. So Charlie is basically calling out Roger on this one and saying that, this is just basically talking about digital gold and real gold and how Roger doesn't get it. But but Charlie also does it to IOTA. So he's also kind of talking smack on IOTA. Is IOTA just hype, or is there real value in Tangle? I've only heard bad things like centralized with coordinators and that they rolled their own crypto and had a huge vulnerability. I'm open to be convinced. But if you look right here, who's Charlie's competition in market capitalization? Bitcoin, IOTA, and Ethereum. And Bitcoin Cash, I mean. He doesn't want to take over Bitcoin. He just wants to be number 2. And he can't be number 2 if he's number 5. So I'm putting the politics into it. I'm putting the bullish market into it, the opportunity growth into all this. But you see the pitch man, Charlie, also known as Satoshi Lite. You can check him out on Twitter. You can also follow Altcoin Buzz on Twitter, because we are on Twitter, by the way. Altcoin Buzz IO. You have to put the IO at the end of Altcoin Buzz, and you'll find us on Twitter. So anyways, go ahead and tweet to us and say what's up. But let's keep going here with Litecoin and see what's really going on here. This is on Forbes.com. They say why the surge. Several factors may be contributing to the explosive growth of Litecoin. The recent launch of Bitcoin futures trading on Chicago Board of Exchange caused a spike in Bitcoin prices. As Charles Brevard notes, Litecoin's behavior tends to have a direct relationship to Bitcoin's. Especially as network speeds lag and transaction fees soar on Bitcoin, Litecoin may be an appealing trading alternative with its faster speeds and lower transaction costs. Coinbase, the popular cryptocurrency brokerage, has also ballooned in user base alongside the growth of Bitcoin, recently surpassing YouTube as the #1 app on the Apple Play Store. Coinbase currently only supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So there you go, guys, and that's basically what we just talked about in the video. There's speculation that Litecoin creators Charlie Lee's recent media blitz appearing on Squawk Alley and Glenn Beck is contributing to its rapid ascent in price, giving him a pedestal to pitch Litecoin as the currency of fast transactions and daily use. And I am going to hold short there and say I highly doubt that Glenn Beck has anything to do with Litecoin's success. Glenn Beck will gladly always take credit for every success that ever comes his way, but I'm going to hold short and say absolutely not. Glenn Beck, his audience is not investing in Litecoin. Glenn Beck's audience does not invest in Litecoin, and we all know that. But Glenn Beck will probably think that, knowing him. By the way, Litecoin was surging way before he went on to the Glenn Beck show. But he did. You can check out the interview. Go on to YouTube and type in Charlie Lee and Glenn Beck, something like that, and see if you can find that video. It was Glenn basically talking like he always does. And yeah, I will be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Glenn Beck because back in 2011 thereabouts, I used to listen to Glenn Beck's morning show, and he was always pushing the gold. He was always pushing gold. It'd be like, call 1-800-GOLD line, which is fine. I obviously push digital gold, so I can respect it. But the thing was, the way that he was putting it was like, he would say, gold, you need to invest in gold and buy canned foods and this and that, and he was just getting carried away, talking about how he was dropping manna from the sky, like he was some sort of like Bible guy, in the Bible they dropped manna fell out of the sky, but he would go to like Africa and fly an airplane over and drop food out of the sky, and he was comparing himself to like manna dropping out of the sky. So I was just like, wow, who's this guy think he is? But anyway, so I don't give Glenn Beck much credit ever. He's kind of like out there in left field. And I do like the fact that in that interview, though, Glenn did appear to have more knowledge than I thought about cryptocurrency, although he was still his same pompous self during the interview. And even when he was talking about it, you could tell it was difficult for him to accept the fact that cryptocurrency was coming. but at the same time, you could tell that he was like, well, it is coming, and I'm not going to deny it, you know. But he was still kind of like, just, I don't know, just pompous. I thought Charlie did a good job. Charlie kept it cool. But like I was saying, I mean, Charlie Lee on here right now, you know, he's definitely worth following. Right here, congratulations to Litecoin Satoshi Lite on reaching a $10 billion market cap and $200 LTC. Here's Charlie, $10 billion market cap. What a year. BTC is up 2,000%, but Bitcoin is up 4,000%. In person, or in interviews, Charlie's humble. On Twitter, he's cocky and pompous. And just because I say pompous doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, but it is very, like, cocky, right? So however you want to take that. I don't personally mind cocky, even from Glenn Beck, but at some point you have to say, well, okay, guys, let's be cool. Calm it down a little bit. But Charlie can do what he can be excited. But it's centralized. You know, it's Charlie Lee is behind Litecoin. Like, Vitalik is behind Ethereum. Satoshi Nakamoto is behind Bitcoin, but that's Bitcoin Core. So who's really behind that? But then again, Ethereum runs off of smart contracts. So Litecoin's just basically like, Charlie's fixing to be the king of the world if Litecoin takes off, right? And he don't really like IOTA or Bitcoin Cash, so I guess this is Roger Ver here with Jihan Wu. Those two guys basically. There's a couple other guys behind it. There's a Canadian businessman. There's another guy from Germany. So there's a couple guys behind Bitcoin Cash besides Roger, but it's pretty centralized. But Litecoin's definitely just Charlie Lee. Charlie Lee's going to be the next, you know, billionaire, gazillionaire with this Litecoin stuff here. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think of Litecoin. Drop a price projection in the comments, and we'll see you next time.